The buying journey is no more linear. They can discover you anywhere. So the big question is, has the traditional B2B funnel officially broken?
Interesting trivia is 1898 is when the sales funnel was actually introduced.
Right.
Closer till 2007, the entire conversation was focused around the salesperson. How enabled they are today to figure that out.
Funnel is fading. So what is now replacing it?
It's actually a flywheel today. If any of the mechanism in this flywheel goes off the radar, your flywheel stops working. In last 2.5 years, generative AI has just gone into a different league altogether.
Hello everyone and welcome to the B2B Marketing Podcast, presented by B2B Marketing Association and powered by Brand Story Digital. I am your host, Saikat Das Mohanty. Marketing has always been about funnels, awareness, consideration, conversion and predictable journeys. But the buyer has changed and therefore the journey has also changed. Long before you can actually reach out to them and talk about your brand, they have already discovered your brands through LinkedIn posts, through communities, through podcast, recommendations from their peers and many other channels like that. So the big question is, has the traditional B2B funnel officially broken? And if yes, what does the new modern marketing flywheel kind of look like? To help us understand this, we have someone with 20 years of experience driving GTM architecture for pipeline and not just for awareness and he has worked with organizations like IBM, Adobe and many other prestigious organizations. Please welcome Adarsh Pete, Senior Director, Growth and Business Development at George P. Johnson Experience Marketing. Welcome to the show, Adarsh, and we're really happy to have you on the show.
Thank you, Saikat. And I would like to thank RP, you, B2B World Summit and B2B World Association and Brand Story for giving me such an opportunity.
Welcome to the show again, Adarsh. Now, we're going to have a very interesting conversation and we were having a chat on that some time back also. So before we get into that, I have a quick question for you. Okay, what's that one traditional metric you think modern marketers are still emotionally attached to?
It's marketing qualified leads.
Yeah.
Which it still gives sleepless nights.
Yeah.
The other metric is sales qualified lead, which a marketer still has conversations with sales.
Yeah, great.
These two.
Yeah, very, very, very well said. I think that's still the conversation that is there, where the world has changed, but the conversation in the marketing rooms and the sales room is always MQL and SQL.
And the big word is attribution.
Yes, and who gets the attribution?
And especially quarter ends.
Yeah,
there are sheets floating around.
Yeah,
trying to take the credit of what you have done.
Yeah,
and you have to bear with the sales team on whether you'll get the credit or not.
Yeah, great. I completely agree with you. Perfect. So now we were talking about the traditional funnel. So let's start with the basic question: has the traditional, funnel kind of breaking? And why? So what I see is that one of the biggest realities for the marketers is that the journeys or the buying journey is no more linear. Okay, it is not. It is not the same. A buyer is more informed. They might discover you at a LinkedIn post or at a community or at an event, to that matter also. You never know. They can discover you anywhere. And with AI also, we get to know about the brand much more informed, even if before we meet the brands. Okay, so in that situation, what is the biggest sign that you see that the old funnel is actually breaking?
So let's go back to a trivia. Interesting trivia is 1898 is when the sales funnel was actually introduced.
Right.
And if you see up to 2010 or closer till 2007, the entire conversation was focused around the salesperson.
Right.
So if a customer wants to know something about the company, the only first point of contact used to be sales.
Right.
Right. So hence, if you see, the entire metrics which came and which got evolved was around the sales team.
Right.
So if you now look at how the funnel has come, the funnel has actually grown with the sales, in and around sales. There was ARP which came in, right, which kind of helped in putting processes in place.
Right.
But that also actually went on towards the sales side. But how I look at it is that there are three waves. Right. The wave one is your pre-digital era. Wave two is your digital revolution, which happened between 2010 to 2020, and the new era what we have gotten. Right. So towards 2007, we saw social media becoming slowly catching up pace.
Right.
We saw Orkut, we saw Facebook, LinkedIn was just coming in.
Yeah.
Right. And brands started experimenting, whether it's B2B or B2C. B2B had a limited exposure at that point of time with social media, but B2C was started rallying towards having followers.
Right.
Right. And what in 2010, when we saw digital transformation happening, where the center focus became the website.
Yeah.
Website was not looked like one more microsite.
Right.
They actually started looking at the entire architecture. That's where the new era of inbound marketing was born, right? And one new, a complete new vanity metric which got built around marketers was around the website, right? What's the open rate? What's the traffic? And what kind of people are coming in, right? And to support that, the digital technology started becoming bigger, right? We saw emails moving from mass emails to programmatic emails, where you could orchestrate your emails, right, to the time and all those stuff. What this led was that there was so many different touch points which started coming in. While in the first phase of between 2010 to 2014, we saw most of the vanity metrics evolving, right? But after 2014, the wave completely changed. Thanks to the way brands started using digital, right? There was so much amount of data. There was so much amount of curiosity with the CMOs, the CIOs, the CDO role got evolved, right? And they were looking at new metrics. E-commerce came in. They were started now wanted to look at conversion rates. They wanted to figure out from which location people are coming in, right? The marketing actually exploded. Now, if you look at from a B2B marketing, it was just a website. Then there were quarterly events which used to happen. Used to get people, used to speak to agencies and get audience acquisition done.
Right.
But the game slowly changed, right? You had new way of approaching people, right? There were new avenues where consumers now could get in touch. Suddenly the website started becoming bigger, right? Interesting elements, engagement elements started getting in. During early 2010, Google came out with Zero Moment of Truth, which was talking about the search engine, right? Search started becoming bigger, right? Now, what this led was that slowly the funnel, which was, or the focus, the pivotal point, which was sales, moved towards the marketing. Marketing started getting a bigger focus. Is now they had to see how they can engage people right? They can now use social media, right? So LinkedIn became big. Right. So LinkedIn became one more avenue. There were community platforms which started coming up on the online side. Right. But what this also meant that there was a dark side to all this, right? What is the dark side? It's you're not able to attribute these conversations at all,
Right.
right? And while everybody was settling in with the new advent of technologies and they were getting energized, we saw, the generative AI piece.
Right.
And in last 2.5 years, generative AI has just gone into a different league altogether. It is like now I don't have to get in touch with any analyst. I can actually create a complete persona, the complete analysis of a company before even knowing the brand.
Correct.
I'm talking from an individual perspective, but look at the consumers and the B2B side. Now, how enabled they are today to figure that out, right? Now, what is all this about? This is all about, I'm talking about orchestration, right? It is no more, as you rightly said, it's no more the linear stuff.
Yeah.
It's no more the funnel.
Yeah.
While some people also drew a bow tie approach, but it's a very non-linear journey.
Yeah.
A contact which gets engaged can drop off at any point of time, and again come into stage 2 or stage 3 of the funnel at some other point. Again, go into a warm or a cold situation. But are we equipped now to take decision, and how matured are we now to adapt new metrics and say MQL, SQL, has to go aside, but how do we bring focus back into the business impact side?
Right. Great. I think that's a very, very good point. And I think this whole, you mentioned about this 3 phases, and when this whole digital era and the digital transformation come, I think that has changed this behavior quite a lot, because data availability, content availability has become so much. And as you said, web has become very, very important, In fact, in my last organization, we were having, I think a couple of years back, we were having this discussion, how do we make our website, as my main platform for business, web as a business, because this is where I have everything. I have my entire content, I have my products, I have everything out there, and I'm not leveraging that, and that's my identity, that's my core identity on the web, on the internet. I think that's a very valid point. I think this whole digital behavior has really kind of shaken that up.
Just to add up to what you just said, right? If you remember, around 2014 types, content strategy had become big buzzword. Right? And people used to take content strategy more from search. Right? But they wanted to adapt it to the SEO, but nobody was thinking about how do I adapt it to the human whom we are trying to approach, right? While you will get your rankings up, but you're still talking to a human being with whom you have to interact. And there was so much of disconnect. And some brands took it very seriously, built a content engine, right? Some brands did not. While some brands said, this can be done, this is more SEO, more from a hygiene standpoint. But if you now look at the new age, right, where I don't know when last time I have gone on, search engine to figure out what I'm searching for, but I'm able to build beautiful conversation and mine for insights using these GPTs. And if you look at the core of the GPT, what is it doing? It's basically crawling across the network, getting and based on that it's now building perspectives, right? So content strategy is even more important in today's day and age. So your PR is not like a tick mark. PR is just not for your new releases, right? But how are you using PR as a mechanism? How are you using employee as a mechanism? How are you using customers as a mechanism? The reviews, the NPS, how do you connect these things is the bigger picture.
Absolutely, completely. And I think people who took it seriously, the content strategy then probably are benefiting it now because of AEO and GEO and all of that. They're doing it better. People who took it a little late probably have understood now, and I think that's great. So great. So It's a very good point and a good thought. So what I hear is that the funnel is fading, or
Yes.
probably it is gone.
Yes.
Okay, and so what is now replacing it? Okay, that's where we would want to spend some time in terms of where is it now. What we're seeing is that there is no funnel. The bow tie loop is also not there. So what is it now, and how does this new marketing funnel or the marketing orchestration looks like? Maybe if you can just give a little bit of understanding, and so how this entire journey now happens, maybe we can put that together.
So what I would say is funnel is going to evolve even more, right? Funnel is not going to go away, right? Funnel will still exist for sales, right? But the way marketing would now have to look at the metrics would be very, very different, right? Whether you are a regional person or whether you're sitting in the headquarters, you have to now look at the entire journey of a customer, right? When I mean the entire journey of a customer, it doesn't stop after the lead coming into your system gets qualified and moves to the sales, but up till how it gets closed. Has the customer been able to get the value of the solution or the offering what you have? Right, that becomes very, very critical. It's no more about where the person is coming from or contextualizing your content based on the region, but contextualizing down to the level of cohorts.
Right.
Is the mechanism. What you have to look at is how are people actually engaging on your websites, right? Where exactly do they live? They live your website and they go to get out of that. Where is that dropout point? And doing root cause analysis as to why that dropout is happening.
Correct.
Which is that content which is not coming in place, which is not helping them to get the complete picture, right? They have to also look at where are the people looking for your products. And it's more about integrated communication approach going forward, and not like I'm a field marketer, so I will only look at more from doing a demand generation. I am a PR person, so I will only look at driving the CXO's communication and important releases and announcements, right? Or I am more from customer marketing standpoint, so I will only take care of doing impressive case studies, right? But these things have to get evolved, right? One of the thing what I have been researching, and I find one of the metric which really works very well is your net retention rate, right? Some of the SaaS companies are already using net retention rate as a critical metric,
Right.
So where you have expansion minus the churn gives you a number.
Yeah.
So if you are 120 above, right, in that benchmark, then you can actually have a sustainable business without acquiring new customers.
Right.
And what it means that your journey is getting completed, your customers are becoming successful using your solution. The upgrades are happening quite well. They are going for other solutions of your company. But if it is somewhere between 100 to 105, it means to say there is a lot of work which needs to go in, which means to say that your churn rates are very, very high. So how does a marketer partner with the business and look at a business plan that why is the churn going low, right? It is no more about customer acquisition cost, but the new metric is about customer acquisition cost of deriving the value for that particular customer, because these are very, very critical, right? Because before it was about product and everything used to revolve around the product. Your quarterly activities used to revolve around a particular solution and what you want to go into the market with. But now you have to have a very long-term approach, because the consumers today in the B2B side are very well equipped. The way generative AI is changing, the new age companies are disrupting by the day or by the hour, I will say. Right? Every legacy brand is facing heat with that. The costs go as low as 10% of what a big legacy company will be providing a solution, and could be more innovative. Right. So how are you looking at these consumer behavior and these new metrics?
Right. Got it. Very interesting point. I think so. The metrics needs to be relooked is what we're talking about, and therefore, what I'm also hearing is that the funnel it's not a funnel anymore. It's a different kind of a flywheel right now.
Exactly.
Which is basically where starting from discovery to engagement to conversion, everything is feeding into each other. Okay, so that's what I'm hearing. So do you have a framework in mind which actually describes this new flywheel, marketing flywheel, whatever we say?
Thanks for bringing that up. So I recently published a paper on my LinkedIn handle, which is Winning with GCC.
Yes.
Before I get into the flywheel part, I just want to take 2 to 3 minutes to let the audience know. I refuse to see the marketing from one single lens. And the reason why I say that is I had the opportunity, or I made conscious choices to move from have diversity in my profile, starting with doing employer branding, to doing regional marketing for states like Karnataka, Kerala, and Andhra Pradesh in early phases of my career. Then did employer of choice kind of a narrative with one of the big GCC's SAP labs early in the days, right? To creating a market. To creating a category with one of the startup. And also I have a passion towards brand, right? And I always wanted to be on the brand side. But those days, given the exposure and the connects, what we used to have, these kind of aspirational role will not be soon after the college, but will take certain time. And I was lucky that after almost 17 years in the experience, IBM gave me the opportunity to be the brand custodian, managing their brand and advertising at IBM for India and South Asia, right? And also doing account-based marketing, right? Where I'm getting with this is I had opportunity of doing various roles, had different kinds of challenges to handle. And working in diverse environment, a thought came in my head is that why don't we look at a new flywheel, right? When you spoke about the funnel not being linear, it's actually a flywheel today, right? If any of the mechanism in this flywheel goes off the radar, your flywheel stops working, and you will find glitches in the system and the friction in the system. So what I thought is like, whether you're a headquarter-driven role or whether you're regional, so you could utilize this flywheel, right, in the B2B space, which is becoming very interesting with the advent of new technologies, of telling unique stories to your customers and creating memorable experience. It starts with the point number 1, which is around employee advocacy. Right. And employee advocacy is not just about being employer of choice or getting good engagements, doing events or celebrating, festival, right? But it goes beyond that. Right. It goes beyond how are you empowering or enabling your talent? How are you bringing the talent into the market, right? How are you showing that you have such a talent, right? Because my fundamental philosophy is it's human to human connect, right? While we represent the brand, I will be more comfortable to work with a human on the other side. So it's very important how brands tell the talent story out, not just to attract the best talent in the market, but also showcasing how these, how these talents can add value to the customers, right? So if you are in the regional team, right, this could be like your solution consulting team, right? This could be not just the sales leader, but the leaders who report under this sales leader, right? Who represent certain industry, or there are industry leads. How can they be brought out? Because those are the people with whom your customer would want to associate with, right? The second part is thought leadership. We have seen how the thought leadership has evolved. And while I was at Adobe, I have seen how Adobe utilized thought leadership to do market moves, right? Change the perception of brands adopting to, the digital and go towards the digital transformation. So thought leadership is huge, right? So there has to be a lot of research which needs to go in, right? And that becomes also a bigger part of your GTM while you create a strategic GTM for yourself. One thing what I learned while I was managing ABM at IBM, one of the leading telecom players, and we were having a briefing session, right? So very senior guy. And I was really excited and inspired by the way this leader came onto the call and said that if you want to be a strategic partner with us, right, then you have to co-own my thought leadership. So the new element which comes in is how do you co-own the thought leadership of your customers, right? Where how do you marry or how do you help in your solutions? How are you able to help your customer to monetize or aspirational stuff what they want to do with the larger picture what you have, right? What this does is it creates a beautiful framework between you and your customer, while your own thought leadership creates a perception, a positioning, and you're getting new set of conversations in, whether it's existing or the new prospects coming in, but new conversations can be driven, right? And the sub part of this is co-owning thought leadership with your customer. Having said these two, right, the third component of the flywheel is the ecosystem play. Right? We have seen the ecosystem play more with partners. There are templatized programs which people run, right? But the ecosystem today is not about your partners. It's also big with customers. It's also with the employees who are working in your customers. Where am I leading with this conversation is I'm leading this conversation towards having communities, right? But the biggest question mark what comes in is, hey, I invest into these communities. What's the ROI?
Right.
There is no metrics towards these communities, right? It adds up to building trust. It also adds up from the brand authority standpoint, and it you enable this community to drive conversation between the peer groups, right? And if nurtured well, there are a lot of confidence building stuff which happens with new accounts with whom you want to engage, because these touch points help you to create one more touch point.
Correct.
Right? And there are many such examples. Like I have seen in SAP, they have formalized programs around communities, and nothing overlaps. No business metrics overlaps these communities. They are so structured programs that they will have champions based on the engagement, right? And they have created platforms where these community members can actually come, showcase, network in their flagship events, small events across. Oracle does that quite well too, right? Adobe also does that quite well too.
Yes.
Right? And certain community events happen even at the partner location, right? I've seen even IBM doing it. So before these communities were very much prevalent with developer network, but now slowly,
So into the marketing also.
even the marketing cohort. So how are the ecosystem? How are you investing into this ecosystem? When these three components starts working, the fourth one, adds to the fuel, which is nothing but your customer advocacy.
Correct.
Before the brand definition is, I have, created a product, I have certain values, and then you create the brand positioning around that. But slowly, when you look at that same brand from a regional lens, right? If you're heading marketing for, say, India or any other country, the brand definition is very different. The way a challenger or a new entrant in a product line is looked from your prospect is, how many, what kind of customers are they catering to?
Right.
Right? So these set of, different brands actually help you to position who you are.
Right.
Right? That's the reason if you see in the services side, right? When there's a new vertical coming, there's a lot of investment which happens to get the category leader in, right? And then building your battlefield
Right.
to bring in accounts.
Right.
So customer advocacy piece is very, very important.
Very, very important. Yes.
The NPS is also becomes very, very important. How is your product driving value into this system?
Correct.
Right? And how, as a brand, am I engaging with you, aligning my engagement in a manner that I'm able to give that confidence to that client or to the prospect that, hey, I could be your strategic partner and I will be able to deliver. Right? And I understand your industry quite well.
Yeah.
So when you're looking from a GTM perspective, this becomes very, very critical.
Yeah.
Right? Which is the category you want to get in? Who are the kind of clients whom you want to go in first, because they are going to create the perception for you. Now, the last part of the flywheel is something what I call as knowledge network. Right? That's one of the most eminent fuel what we have to give to the our prospects.
Right.
Right? What am I saying is, as we have spoken in length about how customers are researching, right? How are they enabling themselves? As a brand, if I'm able to, create a knowledge network where, I'm able to, even before they start engaging with me, what if I'm able to certify them? What if I'm able to give them insights, literatures, not just about my product, but how the industry is shaping, how this solution is going to make impact into their industry. Why should they take? What could be those integration points? This is a heavy value addition,
Right.
And it's a big confidence building. So like center of excellence becomes big, right? Because there will be certain key prospects who have gone up the value chain in your engagement with, I would say, in the business per se. I'm not talking about marketing or the business or a solution, but as a business. And now you want to drive a quality conversation, right? To drive that quality conversation, now you have to create a kind of an environment where they become comfortable and they start sharing what the problem statements are, or discuss what their aspirational thought leaderships are, right? And that becomes very, very critical, right? And it has to be thought through very strategically. Like if you're a services company, you have business coming from across the globe, but you have hotspots of certain trends happening, right? So you could focus your center of excellence in India in a very different manner versus your Europe center of excellence could be in a very different angle, right? Versus your US, right? So what it helps is you have a knowledge network, you have community, right? You have created customer advocacy. If you now look at the B2B game with this flywheel, you have actually made it even more interesting, right? We can do so many more stuff. End of the day, what we have to keep in mind is that what is that story or what is that narrative, what we want to live in the minds of the your prospects.
Yeah.
Because you can make them certain one of the best events, give them one of the best experiences. But if you're not able to communicate a good narrative or story,
then it's of no use.
No use.
Correct.
So people have to think differently.
Yeah.
Think more creatively.
Correct.
Right? Like you can't have your solution pods, right? Because I will not remember as a product name.
Yeah.
But what I will remember is a nice experience what I went through in an experience zone, because that's a story which I will take it into the office and go discuss that with my higher ups and say, hey, I saw this here. Why can't we do this? So that's all about the flywheel.
That's a very elaborative. I think we are doing most of them, but
yes,
somewhere I think it is all done in silos. Today we need to bring it together.
Yeah.
And all need to feed into each other. That's a very interesting.
So like I started the conversation more about integrated communication. So now if you visualize this piece,
it's actually the same.
So if you look at the top part, what I discussed, which is your employee advocacy piece, it is largely led by your internal comms or marketing communication or employer branding, right, which is a recognized role today, right? Then if you look at from thought leadership, it is more HQ led, right? More led by, closer to the executive teams,
correct,
right? If you look at from your community's ecosystem, there are 2-3 different roles, right? When you come to employee advocacy piece, right, where you can actually add the angle of demand generation there, because there is an interesting storytelling piece what you're doing, right? So you have the field marketers there, you have certain companies have customer marketing teams, certain companies have customer advocacy teams, right? And then when it comes to your knowledge network, that's largely driven by the training team. So today, as a marketer, how I have to look at is I have to look at this like my own business, right? I need to throw away the silos, right? Cut across the silos. Need to integrate with all these teams,
right,
and bring that unified communication piece rather than make the market clutter.
Right. Absolutely correct, Adarsh, on that. So, and you also mentioned about communities, and that's, I think, within the flywheel, I think that's a very important part, because, I've, in my previous organization also, we were talking about how do we actually reach out to the communities, okay? Because generally the focus of B2B has been, I'll do a LinkedIn, I'll be on LinkedIn, and, because that is where you get people. But there are these communities, as you said, which were developer driven, is now becoming marketing and for other functions also. I think there's a lot of scope out there in terms of how you manage them and how you actually converse with them. And that really brings a lot of value for your brand, from driving equity for you and from driving your presence in their mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just adding to that community piece, it has to be a neutral.
It has to be neutral, absolutely.
Right. Yeah. So there is no strings attached in that community. While I really appreciate that point, what you're talking about, a moderator who drives certain amount of quality conversation or infuses conversation or cuts across the noise.
Yes.
I have seen certain, I'm part of certain communities which run on WhatsApp, where I see some real brilliant conversations happening.
Right.
Where you're discussing about a tool as a reference point, if anybody has used, they're looking at what are the tricks to gain more efficiency, right? Including, I have seen conversation being driven around the brand, the narratives, and these are open conversations which are happening, right? And a brand can get caught off guard, right? There are certain communities which are run by big influencers in the industry, right? There are certain communities which are very neutrally driven,
right?
Where there is no talk about the product, there's no talk about any company ethos or pushing the brand. It's just a neutral. So how are we building? Because that's where the comfort factor comes in.
Absolutely correct on that. Okay, so coming to my last segment here also, and this is my favorite topic. Okay. In this whole age of AI, and everybody's saying AI is taking over, and AI will do this for us, AI will do that for us, and all of that. In this new flywheel that we talked about, okay, where we have 5 stages that you mentioned. Where do you think the human side is going to be coming in, and where do you see that AI is going to be leading?
So that entire flywheel is very centric towards a human,
Okay.
right? AI would be an enabler, not a leader in that flywheel.
Right.
When you're putting across a customer journey, back between not even before 2020, but 3 years back also, it was very, very complicated, right? Because you have to have a matured system which can look into it.
Right.
And there are so many amount of variables, and there's tons of data also there, right? But what AI is helping you to solve is today to synthesize this. It is able to bring out insights which can help you to create a very engaging conversation with your prospect, which back in the days would have been like a very generic conversation. Now you can actually go and speak nuances of what they undergo, and that builds trust. So how I'm looking at AI is like more like an enabler, right? But human in the loop is very, very critical. There are certain articles where I'm seeing where things have gone bad, where when the agents have come in, right? So because you cannot have an autonomous agent at this point,
Right.
right? It's a very good productivity tool.
Yeah.
The kind of stuff what an individual can do today is amazing. The kind of starting point what you can have, it saves almost 3 to 4 weeks of your starting work. Right? Yeah. But what needs to be changed today is the way we look at our metrics.
Right.
Right? And bring that focus into journey. Bring the focus back to the consumer. End of the day, even if you're selling to a brand, but you're selling to that human being who's there.
Who's there in front of you.
In front of
You're not
you.
selling to a bot, yeah.
Yeah, you're not selling it to a bot. Finally, who signs the check is not a bot. It's a human being.
Correct.
And finally, who are going to consume that solutions are basically human beings. So human in the loop is the way.
Perfect. Great. Perfect. I think there's a very, very insightful discussion, others. I think some very interesting points that you mentioned. And so before I get into the key takeaway that I have, okay, quick rapid fire for you, okay? Quick one, okay? One word or one sentence, whatever it is. So one word to describe traditional B2B funnel.
Monotonous and cumbersome.
Okay. One thing AI will completely change in B2B marketing, and one thing it never can.
One thing which can change is the experience.
Yeah.
And getting to know intent very well. One thing it will never be able to change is relationships, what you're able to build, which is human to human.
Okay. And if you could delete one traditional metric forever, what will that be?
Attribution smile.
Yeah, that's, I think, one of the biggest problems. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, okay. And in an AI first world, what becomes the ultimate competitive advantage for marketers?
Insights and know-how.
Okay, perfect. That's intriguing. Very good. So thank you, Adarsh. I think it was a very, very insightful discussion, and we covered a lot of interesting points. I really like the brand flywheel, and what I really understand and take from this is that the modern flywheel is not about generating leads on MQLs or SQL. It is about generating momentum. Okay,
Exactly.
and that is what the brand needs, and the results will start falling. So I think that's a very, very good insight on the flywheel. So any last points that you want to give to our viewers? Anything that you want to just leave it for them?
One thing I want to give it back to the viewers is that we would have to think from a business perspective and a customer first and how does your business aligns to the customer, and go beyond the metrics.
Yeah.
Where we get caught up is looking at the metrics. Where we get caught up is with the kind of data which the systems are throwing. But how do you synthesize that to create a unified experience? And the third thing what I want to request all the audience is cut the silos.
Yeah.
Talk to the teams across. Think about the customer. What kind of clarity you can give back to the customer, that
Right.
is very, very critical today. Right? These are three things what I would like to say.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much, Adarsh. That was great having you here. And before we go, I just wanted to have a point of view of yours. We have recently launched B2B Marketing Association, and our obviously endeavor is to get leaders, innovators, decision makers to collaborate, learn, and grow this community of B2B marketeers. Okay. So what are your initial thoughts on this, and what do you think, how is this association going to help the marketeers? Initial thoughts.
See, it is a good peer-to-peer conversations. Keep it honest and keep it candid. Whatever areas where you have failed, bring that out.
Yeah.
Right? It could benefit.
Yeah.
And give it back to the society and the community.
Right.
Because that's what I believe in.
Yeah.
We have taken a lot from this community during our experience.
Yeah.
They have given us a chance. They have helped us to learn. Now it's our time to give it back, because it's quite a dynamic world what we are living. Nobody knows, how exactly they have to lead the way. And it's a beautiful initiative of bringing this B2B, especially, with the association with RP and what you are creating. B2B here is not just about IT.
Yeah.
B2B is a whole, other dimension which
Yeah.
we are not looking at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the advantage.
Yeah.
And the advantage is, see, there's so much to learn from different verticals.
Yeah.
Right? One of the last conference what I attended, right? I'm forgetting the name of the gentleman, but he came in more from industrial marketing.
Yes.
And he was talking about how they have integrated inside sales with marketing to accelerate the pipeline development, cutting the friction out between what happens between marketing and sales. And marketing has got a seat and a driver. Right. And such is a conversation which we can have from the association, what you guys are doing. So I will encourage people to sign up.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much for that. I think that's a really good advice, and we'll take that. Okay. So great. Thank you, Adarsh, for joining us, and it was great having you here. Some very, very interesting conversations. Thank you for tuning into B2B Marketing Podcast. Join us at B2B Marketing Association for more such conversations, insights, white papers, research from industry leaders. Thank you.
The best B2B conversations don't just happen only on podcasts. They happen in rooms filled with industry leaders. Join the B2B Marketing Association and reserve your seat at the next B2B World Summit in your city.